Hello, my name's Lindsay. I'm 29 years old and I'm a kidney cancer survivor. My journey started in April this year. I found my first symptom when I was actually on a work trip. I'd recently started a new job. I'm originally from Kendal and I'd stayed in a hotel overnight and basically found blood in my urine. This was quite scary. I didn't really expect something like this to happen to me. I live quite a healthy lifestyle, good diet, exercise. I just kind of thought this isn't normal, so I went to the doctor and basically they told me there was not a lot to worry about because of my age. They gave me a urine test and said they couldn't find any infection and gave me some antibiotics just in case I would develop a urinary tract infection. Basically a week later my symptoms subsided, I went by my everyday business and then the symptoms came back. I went back to the doctor and they actually told me, again, nothing to worry about. However, as you're concerned, we will refer you for an ultrasound before we can refer you to a urologist. But don't worry, it's not going to be anything serious and just carry on your everyday business. After a few days of this pain in my side, I became increasingly worried. My mum became worried. I was off work and to be honest it was more of an inconvenience than anything. So I decided to actually get a private referral. Luckily through work I get private health insurance. I did pay an excess on that insurance but I just thought you can't put a price on your health. Fortunately I was able to make an appointment with a urologist the very next day and he actually specialised in kidney stones. I wanted to get a second opinion. Within an hour, I was fortunate enough to have a CT scan, a blood test and a urine test, and the doctor was actually convinced I had kidney stones and he was prepared to operate on me that night to remove the stones. I was due at 5 p.m. that evening to have an operation to remove my kidney stones and my doctor said he would let me know by 3 o'clock if this was definitely going ahead, as another specialist needed to look at my scan. I got a call about 3:30 and he said he was reluctant to do the operation as they'd actually found a swelling on my kidney. At no point did anyone mention this could be kidney cancer. I was still convinced it was kidney stones and I was told to come back the next day for another CT scan with a contrast. The next day I went back to the private hospital. I had a CT scan. They injected a dye into my veins, so it would basically make my organs show up a lot clearer on the scan. And then I was told that I would hear from the doctor within a week about the results of this scan. I didn't really think anything of it, but the next morning I received a phone call from the hospital to say the doctor wanted to see me that evening at 6 p.m. to discuss the results of my scan. That evening my scan was at 6 p.m. My flatmate came along with me for some moral support and also we'd planned to go for dinner as I'd been a bit of a recluse in the house all week, feeling a bit sorry for myself. I went to the scan, didn't really expect to be told much else except this is what we can do for your kidney stones and maybe I'd have an appointment for some kind of operation the following week. What I was about to hear was a complete shock. I was told I had a growth on my kidney. When the doctor was telling me this, you could actually tell he was quite shocked himself. He is a urologist. He did explain to me that my symptoms were classic kidney stone symptoms and that someone of my age doesn't really get kidney cancer, it's quite rare, so that would never be a doctor's or his first thought as to my symptoms to end up with a diagnosis such as that. I was really shocked. I got quite upset, my flatmate got quite upset and I had to call my mum. The doctor had to explain to her that this could be a cyst, a benign tumour or a cancerous tumour. I basically decided that on the back of this, I would go back to the Lake District to be with my family because I was quite upset by this diagnosis. I was told by the doctor it would be likely that I'd lose a kidney. It was the safest thing to do in any of the three scenarios, and that I should come back on the Monday for another CT scan with contrast, and they would also scan my chest just in case, if it was cancerous, anything had potentially spread to my lungs. So I went home for the weekend, spent some time with my family, and I would say I was quite a positive person, so I was convinced myself that this wasn't going to be cancer, it was going to be a benign tumour or a cyst, and I was going to be absolutely fine. Apart from this pain, I felt fine, I was healthy, and people of my age didn't really get cancer, let alone kidney cancer. On the Monday, my mum accompanied me to the hospital for my CT scan with contrast, and we then had to wait until Thursday, where I was told I would meet with a different urologist who was actually a kidney cancer specialist, and he would have discussed the results in a multidisciplinary meeting before my consultation to discuss with other specialists about my results of the scan and then determine what my diagnosis was. I was waiting impatiently for a few days, nervously. I felt very scared about what the results could be, but again, I'd convinced myself this wasn't cancer, it wasn't going to happen to me, and I was just expecting to lose my kidney and that would be it. The implications of losing a kidney didn't seem as a big deal as maybe what it should have. The fact that I was in quite a lot of pain and discomfort meant that I just wanted it to be over. This was a disruption to my working life, my social life, and as much as losing an organ is quite a big deal, I was told I could live quite a normal life with one kidney and I would recover within 6 weeks of maybe having an operation to remove my kidney. In the days leading up to my consultation, I felt quite nervous. I couldn't really sleep. When I actually was sat outside the doctor's office, that's when the nerves really kicked in and I thought, hang on, could it be a possibility that I could have kidney cancer? My mum and I sat in the doctor's office, and one of the first questions that he asked us was there any history of cancer in the family? Any history of kidney cancer? Any history of tumours? To be honest, the whole conversation's a bit of a blur. I can't remember everything what was said, but what I do remember is he said, we found a 7cm tumour on your kidney. We believe this to be cancerous and you're going to need an operation. Not only that, the lymph nodes surrounding my kidney, which were quite close to the main valve and the main artery to my heart, were enlarged, and this would complicate matters. The following couple of minutes he went through the process of the operation, told me 10 days later I'd be having the operation on the NHS because this was actually quicker than privately, and I was going to have my lymph nodes out, my kidney out, but it would be quite dangerous because of the location of the lymph nodes. Because they were close to my heart, there was no guarantee they could remove them all. My question was, what if those were cancerous? He then said, we'll worry about that later. At that point, I really broke down. I thought, why is this happening to me? I'm really young. He told me he'd only seen 4 cases in the last year of other girls my age with kidney cancer, and that this was very rare, and I was just unfortunate. When you hear that you've got kidney cancer, it knocks you for 6. I broke down, my mum broke down. I was in shock. I went into fight or flight mode and kind of just thought, right, this is what's going to happen. I've got to go back to my flat, pack some stuff. I'm going to go back to Lake District and I'm going to spend some time with my family and wait out this 10 days until the operation. I felt in pain still. I felt more conscious that my tumour was there after I got told I had cancer. I felt like I could feel it more. I felt it's going to spread. Luckily, my chest x-ray had come back with no growths or tumours, so he believed that the cancer was contained to my kidney, but with the potential that it had spread to my lymph nodes. This was something they couldn't really tell until they operated, took everything out and then tested. So the uncertainty was something that was quite a big factor in why I felt so distressed and upset. In the days that followed, I just felt devastated. I would not sleep. I cried. I felt angry. I felt empty. I didn't really know what to think, to be honest. My busy social life, my blossoming career, my happy-go-lucky attitude had just disappeared. My life had been turned upside down. I was potentially having to look at giving up my job, my flat, my life as I knew it, and I just thought, why is this happening to me? I think after a couple of days the news sank in and I thought, right, I'm going to beat this. My operation is the best chance of a cure and there's no point being negative. I might as well try and be positive and think I'm under the best care. So what happened next was another blow, and when I was feeling quite good about the situation, I was then given some more news which would set back my operation and my recovery. The night before my pre-operative assessment at the hospital, I got a call from my consultant who told me the devastating news that my operation wouldn't be going ahead the following Monday, and that instead of keyhole surgery with a 6-week recovery time, a few scars, not quite as complicated, would then be open surgery. This would be a minimum of 12 weeks recovery, and I would now be seen at the Christie Hospital in Manchester by one of their top professors to perform the operation, but they didn't have a date for me. I was told I would have to wait a week to meet my new consultant, and again, I just was not for 6. But I was told my best chance of a recovery and a cure was open surgery. The reason they decided to do open surgery was they wanted to guarantee they could remove all my lymph nodes in case they were cancerous, and because of the location of them, this was the best kind of route they could go down, and they had the best man for the job. After about 2 days of feeling quite down about the fact that I now had to have open surgery instead of keyhole surgery, I kind of realised that actually this was the best result, because they could guarantee they would remove all of my lymph nodes. And to be honest, I had slight reservations about having keyhole surgery because the doctor had said to me, there's no guarantee we can remove all your lymph nodes, and if they are cancerous, we'll worry about that later. I've been looking online and I've been told by the doctor that they didn't really have many chemotherapies that were effective for kidney cancer. So to be honest, I did worry about the fact that if they didn't remove all the lymph nodes through the keyhole surgery, that I might not have any other options, and then would I be cured? And to be honest, although open surgery would be a longer recovery, I would have a large scar across my stomach, it would be more painful. I needed to think about the longer term picture, and again tried to be positive about this and just thought, do you know what, I'm going to fight this and I'm going to go for the best option that the doctors believe is going to save my life. And at the end of the day, as long as I was going to be alive and well, nothing else really mattered. When my family and I went to the hospital to meet with the professor, we asked a few questions about the procedure, how long I was going to be in hospital and what the recovery would be. One of the main questions I wanted to ask was where the incision would be on my stomach, and I actually asked him to show me where they would be cutting me open, because as a 29-year-old girl, that really bothered me. I was concerned about the scar on my stomach, and I just didn't really want to think about how that might knock my body confidence. When he showed me and how big it would be, I just broke down, and I just was devastated again at the fact that I'd be having this massive scar on my stomach and this huge operation. However, the doctor was very professional. He reassured me that he was going to save my life and that I would bounce back from this operation within 12 weeks. And actually, what I expected to be 12 weeks of being bedbound, that wouldn't be the case. On the 12th of June, I was admitted to the Christie for my open surgery. This was about 10 weeks after my first symptom. In the grand scheme of things, it all happened quite fast. So I had my surgery. I woke up in a bit of a daze, in quite a lot of pain. I spent the next 2 days on the critical care unit, and the next week in hospital was quite traumatic, but I knew I was getting better and the cancer was out of me, hopefully. And the next couple of days, I didn't eat for about 3 days. I couldn't sleep. I was in a lot of discomfort. It's quite noisy in hospitals, but the care I received at the Christie was second to none. One thing that I was slightly disappointed about was the food. I felt like I needed to have lots of things to help me get better, lots of fresh fruit and vegetables, and I'm not going to say the meals weren't good, because they were, but I just wanted lots of nice food in me that was going to help me to recover. Before I'd gone into hospital, I'd actually researched some foods that help with recovery after surgery, and I wanted some more of these in my diet. So I sent my mum out to the shops to get me some fresh juices, smoothies, fresh fruit, and I felt like that gave me a bit more energy, especially when I didn't have a lot after my surgery and not having sleep. I had a catheter in for about 5 days. I didn't walk for about 5 days, but the progress I made each day was quite astonishing, and each day I felt a little bit stronger and I could do a bit more than I could do the previous day. And over the next week I became well enough to then go home. When I got back home, I found I was just craving fresh, healthy, tasty food that was going to make me feel better. I wanted lots of fresh fruits, fresh veg, lean protein. I just didn't fancy anything that was processed or sugary or fatty. It was like my body was craving what it needed. I sent my mum and my sister to the supermarket to stock up on lots of different fruit and veg, all the different colours of the rainbow. And from then I started making some juices, smoothies, a couple of recipes that I'd found online, and developing my own recipes for foods that were going to give me energy, help me recover from surgery. I've got to point out here that I'm not a nutritionist. I don't know a lot about vitamins and minerals more than the everyday person, but after a bit of research, and I enjoy cooking as a bit of a hobby anyway, I just kind of developed a passion for it. That actually led me to creating a healthy eating and lifestyle blog, but I found food was really my vice when I left hospital. It was a focus for me. I just wanted to eat lots of good food and spread the word to other people about what food can do for those recovering from surgery, those suffering and recovering from cancer. And also it was good fun coming up with these recipes, and I enjoyed eating really nice fresh foods. It made me feel good, especially on days where, I was having to take naps to recover from just feeling a bit rubbish. And I found food really gave me that energy that I needed and helped with my recovery, and probably helped me recover faster. Here I am 14 weeks post-surgery. It's been a tough road to recovery, I'm not going to lie, but I feel that my age has helped me recover faster. The fact that I've tried to stay active, do some of the exercises that the hospital recommended I do, go on small walks, eat well, and generally be positive. I feel like a positive attitude can make you feel a lot better about a negative situation. I found that blogging has really been my escape in this whole journey. It's definitely taken my mind off my recovery, any pain that I've had, and over the last 14 weeks I've become stronger, fitter. I don't need naps anymore just to recover from making lunch or having a shower. I think I would be lying if I said it's not been difficult. It has been very difficult, and there's times where I felt like I don't want to go out the house. There's other days where I've got all the energy in the world and I want to get on with my normal life. I'm back at work now. I'm getting back to doing social activities, gone to friends' weddings, weekends away. Although I'm not 100%, I still get a bit of discomfort, a bit of pain, sometimes get a bit tired, but I feel like I'm well on the road to recovery, and I'm feeling really positive about the journey that I've been on, and I'm hoping, especially through my blog, I can help others maybe enhance their recovery with food and kind of lifestyle techniques. For example, Reiki. I went to a local service provider for those who've suffered from cancer in Kendal, and had some sessions of Reiki, which really helped. There's loads of different things that I've tried to kind of make me feel better, but I feel I'm in a good place now, and I'm telling my story because I want to raise awareness of kidney cancer, especially in young people, and aid other people with their recovery, emotionally or physically, and hopefully be a positive influence on other people. Thank you for watching. Wherever you are on your kidney cancer journey, whether you're younger or older, I wish you the best of health, and I hope this video has been useful. Thank you for watching.